What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? What an amazing, amazing weekend, y'all. What a great time to be an NC State fan. We are rolling. Got myself, Leighton Smith, here, and Kansas Blackwater here with us right now. Michael Tracy would be joining us here momentarily. Greg DeLeg and Macon are both wrapped up, unfortunately, tonight, as they are both still recovering from the trip back from Phoenix. Greg got in like at 1 o'clock this morning. And then Macon got back last night late, and they're participating in the furniture market because they live up in High Point. And they're participating in the furniture market up there tomorrow. So they've been scrambling all evening. So it'll just be three of us tonight. But luckily enough too, we got a few people already here with us as well in the chat. So make sure, again, y'all, if you've been with us before, you know the drill. But if you haven't, as always, make sure, again, any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns that you have, make sure go ahead and put them in the chat, and we will get to as many of them, if not all of them, here today. So with that being said, Kens, how are we feeling? Are we feeling good? Or are we feeling a little, disappointed? What are you feeling right now?
I mean, I don't think you can feel disappointed, honestly. The run that we had, I'm still on cloud nine about it, if I'm being completely honest. I think that it's mainly because people our age have been dreaming of this moment. Like, we wanted to experience what everybody in 83 felt, and we finally got to experience that run. And just letting it be these guys and letting them just defy all the odds, I think that just made it 10 times better.
100%. Yeah. No, I mean, getting super proud of these guys. I mean, and girls. I mean, and just this whole team. It really was, obviously I feel even better actually about the men than I really do the women. But, again, South Carolina is just a juggernaut. We played them well, but I think that, to be honest with you, a little bit of, I think, how close we were in the first half was a lot of it had to do with, South Carolina just wasn't playing their best ball, but in third quarter they came out just all things clicking, and
third quarter isn't our quarter usually at all. So
exactly that too. So just those things combined, just South Carolina just ran away with it. But again, we'll kind of talk into here a little bit more, but talking about the men here real quick. For me, that game really came down to really two things of why we didn't pull that out. A, Michael O'Connell getting injured, I think, was honestly huge, effect on the game for sure. Only played 12 minutes in the game, got injured pretty early in the game when he was on that fast break and tripped. And, he was on the bike, I think, to start the second half, and then he came back a little bit late. But and then secondly, just shots weren't going in, and really sometimes in the game of basketball, and especially when you can't go to the basket, because that's the other thing, is that what you say. Well, if the shots aren't going in, then go to the basket and get it. We
have a freaking 8-foot tall guy down there that's not really letting us.
Well, exactly. Like if Casey Morcell or DJ Horn or any of those guys tried to drive to the basket, I would have said that's a terrible idea. A, because it's Zach Edey. You're not going to get those calls, 8 times out of 10.
I'll save that for what really grinds my gears. Never mind.
Okay. But also too, like he's going to block you every single time. That dude's, he's a 2-time AP National Player of the Year. He's that for a reason. And so the last thing we want to do is go and try and challenge that. So I thought we were in the right places. I don't think we necessarily took bad shots. We played defense really, really well. Again, just like I said in my tweet yesterday, we held Zach Edey to his lowest points total, and then his second lowest rebound total of the entire NCAA tournament. We held Purdue to like 15 to 20 points below their season average. So defensively, we did everything we needed to. We were smart. Yeah, just offense.
And I stand on the statement that I heard a lot of people say: if we'd have played them the next day or any other day, we'd have come out with that win. It was just our shots weren't falling. We weren't getting the shots that we wanted off. I think that definitely if Michael O'Connell would have stayed in, we would have kept that energy we had from the beginning. Because in the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, this looks great. Like, we could actually pull this out. But after he got hurt, it was like that spark. Whenever we would need that spark, he's usually the one that gives it to us. And it just, our shots weren't falling to give us that. So.
Yeah. No, in the first half we were shooting 13 of 29, so about 45% from the field, and then the second half we shot 8 for 28, which is 28.6% from the field. So again, a huge change. And also too, we also only had 4 free throw attempts, which again, a lot of that is
That's
because
my grandma gears.
well, all right. So here for the sake of you kids, I'll go ahead and let you look at yours. So Kens, go ahead.
Really grinds my gears.
I just don't remember the last time that I watched a basketball game and the team only shot 4 free throws. Like, I genuinely don't. And yes, I get that he's 8 feet tall, basically. But I mean, 4 free throws in an entire 40 minutes of basketball, I don't understand that. I really don't. That makes 0 sense to me.
Yeah.
And that really irritates me.
Yeah. It really grinds your gears. I love it.
It really
Michael,
grinds my gears.
what up, bud?
What's up?
What up? Just came in just at a good time, man, for what really grinds my gears, bud. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, so I was talking about, how we attempted only 4 free throws for the entire game. I think a lot of that honestly has to do with the fact that, we didn't go to the basket, and that was by choice, and that was by plan too. Like, and that was by right plan. Like, again, you just like I was saying right before you got on, when I talked to you about this at the time, is that with a guy like Zach Edey, you just can't go to the basket with your guards. You just can't, because you're not going to get those calls 8 times out of 10. And he's going to block you every single time. So I think that greatly diminishes your opportunities to get foul calls. So what's your thoughts? I mean, overall, like, kind of thinking back on the game, like, there wasn't necessarily a time where I was really displeased with the refereeing. Just more of that.
Yeah.
That, I mean, like, it was just crazy. It was just blowing my mind that basically 12 minutes it took 12 to 13 minutes into the game for Purdue to get their first foul call, which was crazy.
Yeah. No, I didn't think it was too bad overall, but watching from the stands, you don't get as good of a view as the TV.
Sure.
But we definitely, yeah, especially where we were. But I mean, we definitely settled a lot for mid-range shots, like you were saying. You don't want to go to the basket against Edey. I mean, you need to because they'll let you shoot mid-range all day. But
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't think it was too bad, but yeah, it was. 4 free throws is not a lot. Yeah.
Well, and I want to be clear too, saying that, like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't go at all, but in a set piece offense, like, once you're set, like, if it's not a fast break, then I'm not recommending you go at Zach Edey if he's set there waiting for you. But yeah, I mean, if he's on a fast break and there's an opportunity, then yeah, go for it.
Because he's not athletic enough on a fast break.
Correct. But also too, that's the other thing, is that unfortunately we're just missing layups, too. We were just missing easy shots. So that's the only thing that I would really say, like I'm disappointed is, like, once again, like, we just couldn't take advantage of the easy of all the easy shots. Vincent brings a great point right here, saying might be something to be said about shooting in a football stadium too. I mean, that definitely makes a difference for sure. And so, in a game where you have a guy like Zach Edey, who he's going to shoot the ball, 30 times 2 feet or less away from the basket, that's a benefit to them, and in regards to our guys like DJ Burns. So I thought, I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad game. I mean, 4 for 10 shooting, only had 1 rebound, but he had 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, 1 block. So not a terrible game, but again, I honestly think it's kind of what you expected against a guy like Zach Edey,
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily shocked by that stat line. Would y'all agree?
No.
No.
Or yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, cool.
I think that's not somebody he's a very rare breed in basketball, how tall he is, especially in college basketball. So you don't get a lot of experience in the ACC. I feel like the tallest person that we had in the tournament was probably Filipowski that we had to deal with other than him. So, I mean, I feel like if our shots were dropping, because he was missing a lot of his shots too. Like you said, like, we held him to his lowest scoring. So I just feel like every time we get it within 5, they would just drain a 3. So, I mean, it's hard to catch back up with that when our shots aren't falling.
I mean, definitely the toughest point of the game for sure was that 3-pointer at the end of the first half when we had drawn it down to 3, and then they hit that 3-pointer, and that I think just took a lot of the air out of the balloon, honestly.
Yeah. I think
tough.
Michael getting hurt took a lot of energy out of the guys too.
Yeah, and it just disrupted the offense. When O'Connell was playing, he's been playing 30 plus minutes this whole the whole run, and it was the offense was running through Burns, but also through O'Connell. So he was bringing the ball up the court almost every time. When it was a half court set.
Yep, absolutely, and Nick Potter bringing up how the Celtics and the Bucks got to combine 2 free throws the whole game yesterday.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's gone the other way where they called literally no fouls at all.
Yeah, referees just had a night off, I guess. So, and yeah, Vince, there's no doubt that playing in a stadium that big for sure is gonna throw it off, no doubt about it. So, but again, at the end of the day, that's like what I was saying earlier. It just comes down to that it was a better matchup for Purdue than it was for us. But again, the guys played hard. They never quit.
Defense was great.
They played great. They played gritty.
And they just couldn't make a basket again.
Yeah. No.
I knew when we got on that fast break and missed that layup, I was like, okay, well,
yeah. It was just like
run.
There were a couple plays that throughout the 9 games before that we had been making, and then we just weren't making them. The missed dunk by Diarra. Jaden Taylor missed a fast break layup. He at one point it was kind of like a pseudo fast break, but he just kind of lost it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Breon Pest came in and gave some good minutes, and then he had another 3 at the top of the key that if that would have gone in, that would have really changed the momentum. I think that would have brought us within 3 again, but we could never just get past that.
If 6 points. If one of those would have gone in, I feel like the momentum would have shifted and that would have changed the game completely. But just watching it, you could just see it and hear it in the fans. You just heard all the state fans go, "Oh!" like right when he missed that dunk. So
it was every play that was going for us. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So real quick, I want to talk a little bit here about the AP poll top 25 that NC State finished number 10 in the country, which first of all, I got to give a huge shout out. That's crazy to think about. Once again, not only just winning AC championship, not only, getting to the Final Four, but also finishing in the top 10. Like that's phenomenal. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about, who was above us.
Kevin even more money in his pocket too, finishing in the top 10.
That's true. Yeah.
Added to his bonuses.
But Michael, I know you talked a little bit about it. So what were your thoughts about that placement?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Duke at 9, right in front of us. Like, really, we just beat them twice to end the season. But it's just crazy. We went from finishing 10th in the ACC at the end of the regular season to finishing 10th at the end of the term. It's pretty cool.
That's a good thought. Yeah. No, so for those who are listening in that haven't seen it, so UConn finished 1, shocker. Purdue 2nd, Bama 3rd, Houston tied for 3rd. Tennessee, Illinois, UNC, Iowa State, Duke, NC State, Marquette, Arizona, Creighton, Clemson. So, I don't necessarily really have much issues with it, but I do think it stands out that the top 3 teams are the other 3 teams that finished in the Final Four, and we finished in 10th.
I was like, we were the other Final Four team. There was only 4 teams in Arizona, so why are we in double digits?
Yeah, but Razor pointing out a great stat that both men's and women's have never finished the season in the top 10 before. So that's a great little stat right there, and something to hang your hat on for sure. So, and also too, y'all, if y'all haven't checked it out yet, I gotta give a shout out to is my man, one of he's definitely a favorite YouTube channel of mine, and Sharp. I keep forgetting his name, but the guy that does all he'll dress up as the opposing fan and go troll the other team's fans, like he did that for NC State. where he went to Hillsborough Street and dressed up as a Purdue fan and like, you know, was going trolling the NC State. And like on one side, I wanted to post it just because it's what. What's your thought?
I thought he was an actual fan of the team.
No, he's not.
That's kind of lame to pretend to be an opposing fan. I'm sure it's
entertaining. You should go check out the one where he dressed up as a Duke fan for the UNC Duke men's basketball game, and he went to the UNC. He went to he went to UNC arena, and he dressed up as a Duke fan, was on the outside and was like trolling the students. It was pretty funny. And so for the state side, like seeing actually him troll NC State, like on one side, it was funny, but on the other side, I mean, you know, we had some students going after him for sure. And I was like, you know, so, you know, but I mean, yeah, I can't really blame them because, I mean, you know, he showed up to Hillsborough Street. I mean,
that's what he's trying to get that reaction.
You're going to get some smoke, you know? So, you know, and I'll say that we haven't said, our students didn't say the worst things I've ever heard that people be said to him. So, you know, I'll take that. And actually, most of the video was him actually getting interviewed by like a TV news channel, which I thought was hilarious that they actually thought that he's a Purdue fan, which I don't know if he ever told them that he's actually not. But so I highly suggest people go check it out. It was pretty entertaining for sure. But you know, Nick saying Hillsborough Street was super fun though. That's what made me think about that. Mm-hmm. But I also gotta give a shout out and also to a
you know what really grinds my gears?
So I think it was Mitch's Tavern that hosted that event on Hillsborough Street, I think it was, and how when the game started they didn't have the TV on the right channel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man, that's step one of hosting a watch party is make sure that you have the TV ready.
We were at the sports social in Cary, and a lot of our friends are on Hillsborough Street, and they were texting in the group chat like, "You've got to be freaking kidding me!" Like we could have been there, but
it is like crazy that it wasn't on CBS though. When did they start? Is this the first year they've done that? Put it on the Final Four on TBS?
Yep. So. Well, especially because again, like you and I saw Michael. Like, I mean, they had the whole CBS sports team, like analyst crew out there, you know, in FanFest for the entire time. So how do you have a CBS sports crew covering it, but then your station isn't covering the game? Like you know, showing the game. It's crazy. So definitely didn't make sense. And Carson here saying there was a watch party for the women at Stafford on campus, and they kept changing the channel during commercials. Okay, that's interesting.
To what? What did they change?
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I would love to know. So, Razor saying, yeah, it's been CBS forever. I'm 65. I do remember NBC back years ago. Yeah. But again, got to give you a huge shout out though to his team once again. I mean, this 10-game stretch has been nothing short of phenomenal, and exciting to watch. And you know, for us to finish the season 3 spots below UNC in the rankings, you know, and you know, just how much the seniors just really rallied. I mean, like I love the fact that DJ Burns after the game, how he made sure to put his back to the picture. I think it was from us winning the AC championship, or was it of us winning the Final Four? I get the Final Four, but either way, it was basically just him signifying like look at what we accomplished. Like look how far we have come. Like look at the corner we are turning as a program. Yeah. So you know,
that's another thing that sucks is like knowing that. I mean, I fully believe if we had this team next year, now that they've all played together, now that they all know how each other, like the position each of them play in that team, that we would win a natty. I fully believe that. If we could have all the guys come back, it just sucks. Like I saw Michael's tweet earlier, it sucks that we're not going to see DJ in a state uniform anymore.
I know.
It's like all the excitement from the tournament makes you forget, like, oh crap, like this.
I know.
This was the last time we're going to see them play, him, Casey, and DJ, and it's just sad.
Which I want to ask you guys one question, and I'll ask especially you this, Kens, because you're the most positive state, one of the most positive state fans I know. And let us know in the chat too what y'all think, y'all. But if we had found a way to beat Purdue, beat Purdue. Would you honestly look at me in my eyes, Ken? It's not like bias aside, do you actually believe that state could beat UConn?
I believe we could, because I just don't see us making it to the national championship and not somehow pulling it out of our butt. Like, I genuinely don't see it happening. Like, I feel like if we made it from the Louisville game at the very jump of the ACC all the way to the national championship, I feel like we could somehow pull it out of our butt, but that means like every shot would have to fall. We'd have to play solid defense. No one could get hurt. No one could have foul trouble. Like, it would have to be a perfect game.
Well, and again, and the reason why I say that is Purdue, I could look at Purdue and say, all right, if you can stop Zach Edey and if you can make some baskets, you can win that game. It's really that simple. Like guards, like whatever 3 points. And that was the other thing too. Purdue was just they were shooting 3-pointers really, really well against us as well. But like there was a recipe there. But with UConn, for us, like, you know, they have one of the best backcourts in the country. They have, you know, Klingon, who's one of the best bigs in the country. That dude's, you know, he's amazing, you know, and there's a reason. And so they're just such a deep team.
That was like Houston at 83, and what happened there? Just saying.
I know.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah.
But the UConn of 83, so.
But I mean, that's the thing though too, is like now there's conversations about is UConn 2024 the greatest men's basketball team we've seen in the last 50 years, and it's a conversation for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely a conversation. So yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, I mean, like I do agree that, like, you know, if we had made it, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know,
it would have just had to been. It would have been a perfect game.
It would have been a perfect game. Things would have had to gone our way. But like if UConn had come out and play, I mean, like just watching last night, they handled Purdue, man. Like everything Purdue threw at them, they found a way to get at it. I mean, like they basically let Edey have his and still found a way to win.
I thought that's how
dominantly
our game plan was going to go. Like letting Edey have what he, like just letting him do it and covering the 3-point line. But
yeah,
we went with a different game plan. So
yeah. Nope. Again, I mean, it's just for me, like, you know, just watching UConn, you know, on Monday night, I was just sitting there like they are just they're so well coached, you know, like how they beat the press there late in the game. I mean, they did not get caught whatsoever by Purdue. I mean, they really handled that press there late, and that's all coaching. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, go ahead, Michael.
They would have smoked us by 30. I think, but I would have loved to seen it.
Well, and I want to be clear too. That's like you know, if both teams play normally, yeah, we probably would have lost by 20. But
yes,
if we had played outstanding, it's
our best game versus their worst game. Yeah,
there's a chance for sure. So, but anyway, yeah, and Tactical is saying, I can't believe Mitch's Tavern is still rocking. And yeah, I'm sure. And Carson saying men's basketball would complete the sweep of UConn with football, women's basketball, and possibly men's basketball if we had had the opportunity. But didn't quite have it. So and then take a look at I want to take a look at women's basketball here too. You know, actually too, before we do that, let's go ahead and jump on some Tuffy's mailbag, and let's answer some mailbag questions from you, the viewers, here real quick, and then we'll get to that. So let's jump on over. All righty. So Kenz, I'll ask you this question first. So what basketball player from this team changed your opinion on them the most over the course of the season?
That's a hard question. In the course of the season, or from like regular season to postseason play?
Like as the season started, to how they ended.
I feel like there's not a specific one, but I gotta go with Mo. Knowing what he had to go through in order to be out there every night, like not being able to eat all day, not being able to drink all day. It's just that does a lot to your body. So doing that for 10 games. And still breaking the ACC record for rebounds in the ACC tournament, I think he absolutely balled out, because in the regular season, he had those like sparks, but it wasn't like a consistent thing. In the tournament, it was like he was our go-to rebounder, consistent blocker, all that stuff. And I think that's mine, honestly.
Let me know in the chat, y'all, who y'all were, who's what player on this team, changed in terms of your opinion on them from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Michael, who would your vote be for?
Yeah, I think it's Michael O'Connell. I mean, he
saved our season.
He couldn't hit. Yeah, besides the Virginia shot, he couldn't hit a three all season. I think he was like 25% or something, and then he was over 50% in the postseason. And yeah, I don't know. The offense just worked with him in there. Just worked much better.
I feel like you got to throw Breon in there too. Breon absolutely shocked me during that Purdue game. He was balling.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's more of a shout out piece now. I mean, I'll be honest with you right here and now that if Breon passes on this team next year, I'll be shocked, honestly. Like, just not honestly because we don't want him, but like, just goes like he's just not going to be a
he's not going to be
player
waiting
for us.
Yeah,
he's not going to be a double-digit minutes game, a guy
he could
game
be a starter
for us.
somewhere else, and I feel like
he could easily start.
Yeah. Now, so again, so I'm saying just at a like just for his sake, like go somewhere like with Alex Nunnally, which we'll talk about here in a second. Like go somewhere where he can go and play decent minutes and play some basketball instead of only come again when we get a guy injured. But so Razor saying I said beginning of the year Mike Clown should have been our starting guard. I mean that's the one thing which I hope for Keys next season, that he can figure out a little bit earlier than just the first game of the ACC tournament of how the rotation should work with the team. But I mean, so for me, I'll actually say somebody different, not because I don't agree with Michael O'Connell for sure. Not that I don't agree with Mohamed Diarra for sure. But I'll give, props where other props is due. And I'm going to say Ben Middlebrooks, actually. I really loved Ben Middlebrooks' game over the postseason. Like
he held his own against Edey, too.
He played some phenomenal defense against Edey.
He did.
Phenomenal defense against Edey.
It was great.
And like he's just a guy that really just settled into his role and he thrived in his role. Like he's not a guy that's going to stand out to you in terms of his stat line. He's not a guy that's going to stand out to you on film necessarily in terms of like skill set, but like he can get the job done. Whatever coach asks you to do, he's going to go out there and get it done. And against Purdue, he was asked to go and hold down Edey while Diarra and Burns were dealing with, foul trouble and rest and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely did his own for sure.
I also feel like you got to give Casey a shout out. Like, I mean, from last year being our offensive star to this year, not really making making the threes that he usually would or the scoring like he usually would, but his defense saved our butts in a lot of game. And I think that was a big key piece for him. So,
well, and so here's why I'll kind of push back on that, Kansas, is that if the question was like, who do we give props to generally just specifically for the postseason? Yeah. But since the question is more basically like who basically impressed you throughout the season, like, beginning of the season, cutting in season, like I was expecting this guy to break off, man, be like, 15, 16 point per game player, plus the defense, like, hitting on three. I mean, this guy was a career, high 30 to 40%, 3-point shooter. And just, this year offensively, he just struggled, just wasn't quite where we expected him to be. Now, I mean, he still played his part, no doubt about it. Huge shout out to Casey, he's my guy.
He's the only guy on the free throw line that I'm like, this is automatic.
Yeah,
exactly.
The only guy on our team that I know is going to make them.
That too.
O'Connell was pretty automatic, but he just didn't get there a lot.
Exactly. But I mean, and unfortunately, I feel bad for him to go out. I mean, played 32 minutes, shot 0 for 5, from the field. And then the 1 3-pointer he shot was an air ball, so technically it was considered a turnover. So yeah, I mean, like, it's just more disappointing for sure that he couldn't do more to help us. Because I mean, unfortunately, once Michael O'Connell went out, it was kind of just the DJ Horn show. Which I mean, it should have been. I mean, like at that point, because again, DJ Horn throughout the whole postseason, really season in general for the most part, has been our best player. So, our best shooter. So yeah, go for it. But anyway, So Tactical asked the question: is MJ Rice still on the team? So I mean, as far as I know, yeah, I mean, he's still on the team. Now keeping in mind that just like with Cam Woods, which again we'll talk about here in a second as well. I mean, basically the transfer portal rule is basically out the window in terms of where if you transfer twice, like now you don't have to sit out anymore. So I mean, MJ Rice could still just go and transfer again. So we'll see. But I honestly am saying here too, like that I'm kind of okay either way. If he comes back, like cool. Why? Because he's a ridiculously talented player. I mean, we saw his potential in the Reynolds game. But on the other side, I'm saying, he's not getting paid a little bit of money to play basketball at NC State. Yeah. So, if he leaves, I'm sitting here saying, well, I mean, like, because kind of the other side, like now you kind of have to prove yourself a little bit to us, a little bit, just because, I mean, again, we gave you a lot of money. And so like now you need to prove that you're worth that, and so
yeah,
it's a business now, it's a business.
Yeah.
So
I think
go ahead, Michael.
There's definitely no harm in keeping him on the team if he wants to stay. Cause I mean, he's got more upside than pretty much anybody you could get out of the portal to,
for sure
be that 11th, 12th, 13th guy on your roster, which is, I imagine where he's going to start unless, something crazy happens, but he's definitely worth keeping around. I don't think, and like you said, it's a business. So some players, there's decisions made on them, but I think he's one you keep around and just see what happens.
Nope. So I think that kind of answers that mailbag question. So real quick, I want to take 2 seconds and talk about, sorry, I said 2 seconds and talk about the players that have announced that they have left during the season and now. We'll start off with LJ Thomas, who announced that he is transferring from NC State to Austin, PA. And, just LJ is just one of those guys, I think kind of a little bit like Breon, where he's a solid player. Like, he can hit shots where needed, he can fill minutes where needed. But in terms of being, again, a routine guy, a guy that, every single night has double-digit minutes or is a starter, he's just not going to be that guy for us. And,
especially he didn't get to experience that Final Four run. Like he left right before the ACC tournament started.
Well, I just feel that was his choice.
Yeah, that just sucks.
I know. Well, and I mean, and again, I don't like. I think there's not necessarily like a rule in place, but I like typically, if you were on the roster, you get a ring. That's just like a typical like thought process. Like for example, like NFL, like if a guy gets traded halfway through the season, then he'll still get a Super Bowl ring or whatever, after if they win the Super Bowl that year. And so for me, like Lex should get his props for sure. Again, I mean, he was still a part of the team. He was still a guy that played minutes, a guy that was involved, a guy that we never really heard anything necessarily, bad from. So, or about. So yeah, no, I mean, give the guy, his props, but yeah, it definitely sucks that he couldn't go and experience that moment for sure. Get the championship shirts, championship hats, and
like go travel, like experience that.
Yeah,
like, him watching that up, it's like crap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But and then my guy Alex Nunnally, got to give a shout out there next, man. Junior, which again, so I kind of maybe asked that question, Michael, is that because we were talking about it now, I put out the tweet, recognizing DJ Burns, Casey, and DJ Horn as seniors, and saying thank you guys for what you did for the program, all that, and didn't put Alex Nunnally, and there was kind of some pushback from some people saying, well, what about Alex Nunnally? And like he's listed on the NC State page as a junior, but he was recognized at senior day. So I mean, do you think maybe that?
Well, I think if you're leaving, you can choose to get recognized.
Well, it's so that was my thought. It was like, so maybe he knew all along he was going to go transfer after the season.
Yeah, probably.
But I feel like that's odd, though. I feel like that's not necessarily a normal thing. But like, hey,
it's not normal, but I don't know. I think it's like like one and done guys, like surefire NBA prospects. Sometimes they'll do senior day.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. So, but yeah, kids. Alex Nunnally, the GOAT. I mean, the dude's a cool dude, but never play. But he's an awesome guy. So happy for him.
Love that family. Yeah. They're sweet.
Oh yeah, no, the whole Nunnally family is awesome. And then lastly, got to give news today that transfer guard Cam Woods has officially put his name in the portal, which is crazy to think about because this will now be his 4th school that he's been to during his college career. Yep. Well, because that was the whole thing about with Cam was that he was a 2-time transfer. But there was a window where where that hold got lifted that he could play in those like 2 or 3 games that 1 week or whatever. So he put his name in the portal, which I'm guessing because the only thing we know as of right now for next season is that O'Connell's coming back. Diarra's and Middlebrook still have another year. I don't think we necessarily have heard if Jaden Taylor's coming back necessarily, right?
Not yet.
No, but I would assume he is, but
and so that's my question. So does Cam Woods leaving kind of almost maybe make the case?
It could be an indicator of Taylor staying because he would probably play the same position there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because looking at the roster for next year right now, so you got as of right now, you have Jaden Taylor, Michael O'Connell, Breon Pass, Dennis Parker Jr., Paul McNeil Jr., Trey Parker, and then on the front court you have Mo Diarra, Ben Middlebrooks, Papa Ross, and Brandon Huntley.
I love Bigger.
And then Brandon Huntley Hatfield. So I want to talk real quick about Ernest Ross. It's obviously that was a whole fiasco that happened on Monday. Was it Monday? No, it was Tuesday.
Yeah, no, it was Monday.
It was Monday. Where Pack Pride came out with the article that Ernest Ross entered his name in the transfer portal. But yet I saw that like it was first of all, I mean, it helped too that we were with Ryan Williams when all this happened from IPS. I mean, like it was interesting how Inside Pack Sports, like nobody else really I think maybe the Wolfpacker tweeted something, but IPS did. They didn't tweet out and Lily Pack Pride that article was 20 minutes old and IPS still hasn't said anything. So that was odd. But then we heard rumblings that Ernest Ross was saying that no, I haven't transferred yet, and
Ernest was so confused.
And then he posted it on his Instagram,
saying no, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
But what up, Macon?
What up, guys?
What up, man? Good to have you, man.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry I'm late getting on, but I was like, man, I got 20 minutes. I can still get on this thing. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I know. And not your normal setup or your normal gear, but hey, we'll take it.
I'm not. But it's got to get some work done around the house. But I had to be here for this one. So.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking real quick about Ernest Ross. What's your thoughts? I mean, do you think, because we were talking about how Pack Pride posted he was in the transfer portal, but then Ernest Ross came out and said, I'm not. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it could be a thing where he just doesn't want it out public, so until he announces on his own timing. Yep. But it could be he's not. I mean that's what I get.
Was too.
You said what?
That's like MJ Morris's situation.
Right. So it's just kind of like let the guy do his thing, and got other sites who want to kind of jump on that or whatever, kind of annoying. But they're also doing their job. But it's a guy like Ernest. My opinion of Ernest is, I mean, he's been there for 3 years, and I wonder if he'll ever crack the rotation. He still hasn't yet. I mean, he does have the classic thing that Michael just did there, right? But Michael's doing it better than I could. But to me, man, he's a great locker room guy. He's a great guy when he comes in, he does contribute some. But if I'm being all honest, I don't know if he'll crack the rotation next season. I mean, you're bringing in Brandon Huntley Hatfield, who's probably 5. Ernest is a 4. So maybe he rotates with a guy like Diarra, because you probably have Middlebrooks and Huntley Hatfield at the 5. Maybe at times you play Diarra at the 4. So maybe there's something there. But I also feel like the guy like Dennis Parker, he might play the 3-4 at times. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see what they do there. I think he could have a role as a depth piece it's just a matter of, does he want to be a depth piece? Does he want to go to, a different school where he can really get some playing time and, play out his last year of basketball or two? So I would personally, I want to be as good of a team as we can be. And if we can build the depth, and if there's honestly, and this goes for any player on the team, if there's a better player out there, I want to go get that player. And that's not an earnest statement. That's a team statement. I want NC State to win.
Yeah.
So if we can get a better piece at the 4, or so, let's say we don't, but we just maybe that's about as good as we can do. I want any of these guys, and I am thinking of guys like Ernest or Breon, or heck, we saw Cam Woods. He was only here for a year, right? And he's already gone. Does MJ Rice do the same thing? He didn't do anything this year. I never realized he may have some different circumstances, like Cam has some different circumstances. But if those guys aren't impactful, I don't know if they need to be. I wouldn't be so upset that they left, put it that way. If a guy like Ben Middlebrooks left, for instance, who has proven to be a huge contributor, I would be like, okay, that really sucks. Or Jaden Taylor or somebody like that. Like, I would be like, man, those guys played major minutes and were big contributors. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with these guys. I will say, if guys go into the portal and they leave, no matter if it's, say it's any of these guys, I think State's in the best position they've ever been in from a transfer portal standpoint to go get the best talent they can get. To me, you have to strike now while the iron is hot, and they need to go get. Anybody and everybody. If that means there's some hurt feelings and guys want to transfer, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, it's business. Like, you're right, but I want to win. I want so badly to be.
We felt it, and we don't want it to end now.
Right. I want to go back to the Final Four if I can help it. Why not NC State next year? Why not us? Why not us next year? We could do it. And it's just getting the best talent, because I don't want to settle, right? If we think we really want to roll with Ernest and Breon, and trying to think who's other depth pieces on the team. Those are probably the 2 names I can think of. MJ. Well, Jay and Taylor, I wouldn't necessarily call him a depth piece, maybe not at this point, especially with Casey leaving. But, MJ, Cam left. Then I just want the best plays I can get. I want to get the best talent. I want to capitalize on the Final Four run, go bring back NC State like the guys already did, and just kind of continue to build on that. Especially now that Kevin Keats can go into these homes. What does he have that? What does Carolina and Duke have right now that Keats doesn't, from like a resume standpoint? Like John Shire and Hubert Davis have nothing on Kevin Keats right now. It's even playing field, I should say.
Yeah.
John Shire, you did some nice things so far. He what?
He won the tournament. So, but he didn't make the Final Four.
Right.
Shire did, yeah.
Right, but he didn't make the Final Four. Right? He made the Elite Eight, and he got beat out by NC State. Carolina, they won. They went to a national championship game, and that is huge for them. That's great. But it's like, you didn't win an AC championship. And so State's got both right now. State's got a Final Four and an AC championship, and they beat both teams to do it. And I just don't think Keats can go in there and has to cower to a UNC or Duke negative recruiting and this prestige. It's like, well, we just did it. So what makes this any worse off than those guys? So yeah, it's exciting.
Well, and Razor brings up, I think that we won't have an issue with selling season tickets next year for sure.
I've already talked to me. Yeah, go ahead.
PNC Arena is about to be insane with students, especially the way that they packed out Hillsborough Street. I know that they're just ready to be back in PNC.
Yeah, Lindsay talked to me back in January. We walked into the Virginia Tech game, and she was like on her own. She's like, if you want to get season tickets next year, you can. I was like, what? So I was like, I'm going to try to do that. You said what?
And at that point, you probably didn't. But.
I know. But even then, it was like, at this point, I kind of want to, because I want to. I love college basketball. I love tobacco basketball, and it's exciting, like you said, Michael.
And then we had another question, part of our mailbag saying from Cam9629 saying, what does our men's basketball NIL situation look like this offseason, as in how much cash? And the one thing which I will say is from listening, to sources that basically like we had, roughly around like $1 million in NIL to basically distribute among the
on the basketball side or everywhere.
Basketball to give to the players. And so now I mean basically kind of just to kind of like make like a low and a high is that, so like we're right now at 1 million per what we had for last year. Calipari, Arkansas just told him that he's going to have $5 million to give to players, as he sees fit in a given year. So where are we going to fall in between that? Arkansas. Yep. So where are we going to fall between that? I would say, with the donations that have come in, we shouldn't have any issue right now getting at least to that 2 million mark, I would say. In terms of what we could offer.
Well, it's on the fans, right? As much as the fans want to give is what we can do, right? And so, it's going back to people complaining about Dave Doran with the football program. It's like, if you say, well, I won't give until we start winning something. You had one AC championship with you. Now you just did it in basketball, right? Yeah. So that argument's out the window now. If you can't donate to a thing that just went to the Final Four and the AC championship, then you're never going to donate. And I just remove yourself from the conversation. So, but I know I am. I want to. So,
yep. Nope. Absolutely. Michael, any thoughts there?
Yeah, if we could get to 2 million, that would be great. I think that probably put you in the top 5 of the ACC with $2 million.
Look at the investments that UNC did on RJ Davis and Armando Bacot. I granted that NIL dollars from their own stuff, from sponsorships and that kind of thing. But I would almost argue poor investment a little bit, or not as great an investment. Maybe not poor is the wrong word, but that's a lot of money they were throwing out those guys. And I feel like I remember hearing something like $500,000. I don't know if it's for each of those guys or for both combined or what, but
had to have been for each of those at least. Had to have been at least.
Yeah,
are we sure he wasn't making $1 million? You sure he wasn't making at least $1 million?
I think Bacot was at $1 million.
Yeah, that might have included all the sponsorships and that kind of thing. Yeah. That's why I say that.
I gotcha.
I just
no tax.
In Carolina, were they Sweet 16 or Elite 8? Elite 8. They lost to Alabama.
Yeah, Sweet 16.
They lost in the Sweet 16.
So they have a Sweet 16 and no conference championship. They were first in the regular season, so I guess they have that. But I was just thinking the other day, fans, the casual fans, they don't care what you do in the regular season, right? NC State had a really bad regular season, and it doesn't matter at this point, right? It's all about the postseason. So
2 trophies.
Right. You got 2 trophies. You've got 3 banners now? 3 banners. And you've got 3 trophies, right? Because you've got 2 Final Four trophies and you've got a ACC championship trophy and 3 banners.
For men's and women's, you mean?
Yeah, I'm combining men's and women's. I figured that's what Mackenzie was doing. So
yeah. No, agree there. So again, just guys striking, got to go out and get a big time guard for sure. That is priority number 1. Go get a 15+ point per game guy, somebody that can, replace DJ Horn.
I feel like that's going to be the hardest.
That's going
to be the hardest guy to replace is Horn.
Agreed. Yeah, and again, you can't look. Yeah, you can't look at anybody we have on our roster right now to be that guy next season.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. I think yes, replacing Horn is hard, but I think it's almost an easy sell for Keats. He did it.
Yes,
he's done it 3 years in a row with Joyner and then Horn. He's like, yeah, you want to come out of the transfer portal and be our star guard,
make all this NIL money. Him and DJ Burns, they racked in 5 or 6 NIL deals just in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. Making any last thoughts here real quick about men's basketball? I want to talk a little bit about women's here.
Yeah,
I guess your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, man, for the words, it's special. I just think it means the world to state fans what this team did for us. And
Amen.
I don't think you can put it into words what it means to some guys, people emotionally, and the investment we have had as fans into the team and program, and the commitment at times. I know a lot of fans have been really hard on the teams and want to check out, and a lot of fans have. But I really think deep down inside that they've always been there and wanting them to win. It's just been heartbreak after heartbreak, and this team did something that no team has ever done, except maybe UConn, right? And 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was magical in a lot of ways. It was really special. I mean, I'm just so pumped that we can do that, and it's that I think that mantra of why not us, that is really embodies the run. It's like, why not NC State? Like, why do we have to cower to UNC and Duke? Like, why do we have to do that? Like, I don't think fans do generally, but it's like the perception. Like, I know I don't know if you got through tweets of the week, but how UNC and Duke are ranked ahead of us, like I get the regular season, I get that, and maybe it's all encompassing, but like we beat Duke twice. How are they ranked ahead of us? I don't get that, and I feel like there's a perception. So, to me, what State can do now, it's kind of bringing back the program to what it was, but they have to capitalize on it, and it can't be like a one and done thing. To me, if you can go back to the tournament next year, make a Sweet 16 at least, like that's huge for the program, because then you can be like Final Four, Sweet 16. Yeah. So I mean, or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that. You don't have to do anything as amazing, and I don't think you may ever do anything as amazing as that, except win a national championship, which I think State can do. But just, I will never forget it. I will never forget it. So.
And I don't think the guys understand what it meant to State fans. Like, I know that they probably felt like it was a magical run too, but I just want them to understand like what they did for fans, like big fans like us, like not being able to experience what 83 was like, and finally being able to say, oh, now I know what my grandma's talking about when she says,
yeah, exactly. So the same thing to my family. Like I've only ever heard stories, and now it's like, this must have been what it feels like. So
yeah,
this is pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah, I like winning.
Right? Let's keep it up.
And William too, I want to be clear too about what we did that Macon is talking about, that hasn't been done since UConn 2011, is basically a team that was not going to make the NCAA tournament unless they won the conference tournament, and then found a way to get to the Final Four, which UConn won the national championship. But even just winning basically 9 games in a row that's never been done before.
5 games in 5 days too.
Well, exactly that too. So. So yeah, definitely very, very special to say the least, for sure. Man, what was I gonna say to you? But
women's basketball.
But women's basketball. Here, actually, one stat I want to give you. So between men's and women's basketball, 7 of the 8 teams that were in the Final Four finished top 4 in the AP poll. I want to just point that out. That in women's basketball, the Final Four was South Carolina, Iowa, UConn, NC State, which I don't really have any gripes with that. But with AP men's, it was UConn, Purdue, Alabama, Houston, Houston lost in the Sweet 16.
If you're Final Four, that should be where you landed.
Well,
which
yeah, I will say, to be fair to Houston, it's hard to ding them with when it's purely based on the guy, their best player getting injured. But 4 is also high, so at that point. So
no, I agree. I think if you put us at like 8, I think that would have been fair.
There were only 4 teams in Arizona. I feel like we should be 4.
But Candy's like, I'd put us at 1.
Right?
There's still
there were only teams there.
Yeah, UConn, sure, they can be 2, but NC State is 1.
Yeah, you already asked me that question. If I think that we could beat UConn,
if we would have beat them.
Yeah, Macon. I'll ask you that real quick, Macon. If we had played UConn, you think we would have had a shot?
I'm gonna give the McKenzie answer. Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? I feel like if we make it there, there's no way we lose. Like,
I love it.
Here's the thing about UConn. They don't have a single like star, in my opinion, on their team. Like Klingon, maybe, but he's not a star. Like, he's a really good basketball player, and they have a team of really good basketball players with a really good coach, and they work well together. They understand each other and they play well. Like the most outstanding player was Tristan Newton, who was the point guard at ECU. Like,
right.
Like they're not studs. They're just really great really good basketball players, and
really well coached. Really, really well coached.
Right. It's the whole system. It's the program, right? So, yeah, but yeah, I'll stop there. So,
yeah. But yeah, hey, don't worry, Cans. Razor's with you. Absolutely. He was the 14 period. Like, yeah. But yeah, women's basketball. So, so once again, I mean, Isaiah James, didn't play, she wasn't lights out like she usually was, but she didn't have a bad game. I mean, 6 for 17 from the field, 3 from 10 from 3, 5 for 6 free throws, 2 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 0 assists, 20 points total. So solid. And then River Baldwin also had a solid game as well, shooting 5 for 12 from the field. So got 12 points, 9 rebounds. So great game for her. But the biggest thing, and I'm not necessarily going to put it on one or even 2 players, but Sanaya Rivers just killed us, man. Like, yeah, she was. It was just.
She had a bad night. She had a bad night.
She had a bad night for sure.
Just, I feel like all the eyes looking on her because she used to play at South Carolina. I feel like playing against your old team is a lot of pressure on you. So
yeah,
but also too, but that's also a moment I feel like that you rise up.
You rise up. Yeah, I feel like it's either one or the other.
It was going to be either
have to shine in those moments.
If you either have a lot of eyes looking on you and you're going to ball out, like River did the first time we played Florida State, or the second time when it wasn't your best game. So
yeah. I honestly, I kind of got the more impression necessarily of South Carolina, but I think the stage just got to her a little bit. I think the moment was a little too big for her at that time. Like, and it really could be that she was just missing her shots, but it really felt like she was like, whoa, the whole time. And that's, I mean, I don't want to say it's okay. It happens to players, but it can't be okay for your star. It can't happen for your star. Yeah. And I wish like 1 for 8 or something like that. I mean,
yeah, she was 2 for 11 from the field.
2 for 11.
She had 5 turnovers.
It's just a bad day. Bad day
was the turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers were
bad day for her. I mean, and I think that was the third quarter that just killed us. We scored like 5 points and they had like 20 something.
The third quarter kills us every game this season, and that's like the only quarter where if we get behind, there's no coming back.
So then to me, is that and I'm going to take a different approach to it. Is that a coaching thing? Because why is that? If you're saying now, Westmore is a great coach, obviously. I mean, I'm not saying that, but like, if you're pointing out there's a trend of coming out of halftime, we just suck a lot of times, then why is that? Is that
it's a mental thing?
What is that?
I don't know, because I remember in years past, like Westmore's teams were like insane in the third quarter. Like
I thought so too. I don't know. Yeah.
This season alone, though, it's just like we always out this quarter we struggle in, and then we come back in the fourth and add to our lead or get back to winning. So
yep. So kind of.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Hakana. What?
I was like, South Carolina is one of those teams where you just can't have that happen. Like that's kind of like
they're gonna bury you for that.
UConn, you have to play a perfect game. Like you can't have a struggle quarter against them.
Yeah. So, kind of looking at this team now for next year. So you're losing River Baldwin and Mimi, who are your seniors, but you can get everybody else back. I think Isaiah is a player that I don't know how much money we have towards NIL, but I think Isaiah, you pay whatever she wants in order to keep her.
You let her fill in the check.
You gotta keep Isaiah. Madison says she's coming. Go ahead, Macon.
I'm gonna say the other part of it too is that helps you is that she's already transferred one time. If she transfers, sorry, I'm blanking. I'm thinking Sanaya. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Isaiah. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, Isaiah. Sanaya, sure, but she's not going to be.
Isaiah.
Nobody's going to be opening up checkbooks. Nobody's going to open up checkbooks for Sanaya. They will for Isaiah though. UConn, LSU, they'd open up their checkbooks for Isaiah, who just lost Haley Van Lith, who just.
I know. Yeah.
They'll open their books. So,
That one shocked me too. Haley Van Lift's transferring again. I did not see that coming.
Well,
Is she a graduate?
I mean,
Well,
Because if she's a graduate, if she's a graduate, she's second time transferring, that would be my first thought, is because that way she doesn't have to sit out.
well, but
nobody has to sit out anymore. They got
well,
rid of
that's
that.
nobody has to sit out anymore. That rule is basically gone, unfortunately.
For
Like,
men's and women's, I forgot about that.
That's why Cam
all
Woods.
sports. Yeah,
That's why Cam Woods. That's why Cam Woods transferred again, because he can go.
I did not realize that. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's crazy.
yeah.
Gone.
people are just gonna be. You're not gonna know who your team is until
Mine just
game one.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude.
there's going to be some player out there who just transfers every year just to be a joke about it. So,
well, they could be that quarterback that started off as Southern Cal, that went to Georgia, that went to West Virginia, that went to Rice.
JT Daniels.
JT Daniels.
Is that his?
Well,
now third or fourth.
I saw they there was a football player, Bear Alexander. He went to 4 different high schools all 4 years. Then he went to Georgia his freshman year, went to USC his sophomore year, and now he's back in the portal. So he's going to be on his 7th school in 7 years.
Damn,
That's
that's
insane.
crazy. But real quick, like kind of looking at next year. So again, you're hopefully keeping Isaiah. You're still got Sanaya Madison. You still got hopefully Zoe Brooks. And then you're bringing in Jones, the phenomenal guard.
Zamaria Jones.
Yeah, the phenomenal guard. So I mean, I feel like you gotta feel pretty good about.
You bring in Tilda Trigger too. Don't forget that for her.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. The
forward from Sweden.
Forward from Sweden. But I mean, I feel like you got to get two more forwards in the portal for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I mean, you're losing 2. I know you're bringing in Trigger, but who knows how that's going to translate to here. So I would say, you need 2.
Or you definitely got to go and hit a home run with 1. Let's put it that way. You got to either get 2 or you.
I think Maddie Cox will play a part next year.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's just.
I wouldn't be those surprised if she transferred though, honestly. But we'll see. But just because again, like Maddie Cox, she's a great rotational player. But again, I don't like. Is she ever going to be a starter? I don't know. We'll see. To be determined.
Yeah. But depends on who you bring in the portal, right?
Exactly. It depends who you get. But yeah.
But outside of Zoe Brooks, I think she was our best freshman.
Oh yeah.
You gotta keep Zoe. I feel like Zoe is just gonna keep improving and improving and improving.
Yeah.
Well,
she's a player.
So that's my question though, is because I mean I'm assuming with say it again, Macon.
Zamaria
Jones. Yep. You're gonna play her. I mean, she's not gonna be on the bench, a player that talented. So where does Zoe Brooks fit in? Where do they both fit in? Zamaria and Zoe, where do they fit in?
No, I think Jones is on the bench.
You think so?
At least to start the year.
Well, but I mean, like, does she get rotational minutes like Zoe?
I think yes. Well, I don't know. That's even I don't know.
So
it'll be interesting.
That's definitely going to be a coaching thing. How do you fit from the guard side both those players combined with Sanaya, with Madison, and with Isaiah?
That's a good problem to have, though.
It is
a great problem.
Hey, it's like you get the absolute best talent you can get, and you don't care about her feelings, and it's purely business. The goal is to win. You should want to win player A, B, or C on the team. And can you blame me as the coach? Like, I'm going to go get the best players. And if it works out for you, great. If it doesn't, great. I mean, like I'm sorry, but go get the best player.
And I mean, Razor's saying right here, true. Like I think Brooks knows that it's her team after next year when all of them, Madison, and Desire, are all gone. Yeah, that's again a great point. Right. Absolutely right.
Because in 2 years you're looking at a backcourt of Zoe Brooks and then Jones. So yeah,
it's pretty darn good. So
and Zoe still had it wasn't where she didn't have many minutes this season. She still played a heck of a lot.
I saw a preseason poll for next year that had that again. It's a very, very early one, but it still had NC State at 8, which I'm like 8
preseason next year.
That's pretty low in my opinion. But I mean,
well, you got to also remember what they were predicted to be this past year. So, in my opinion, it is an improvement from what we were this season.
Yeah.
So to me, they think the floor is raised for NC State, and the floor is an elite level team compared to this past season. It was like I don't know. So I get your coming from, Lane. I get your coming from.
There were only 4 teams in Cleveland too. We should both be.
You know what? Let's make men's and women's teams number 1 in both AP polls, and just the whole season. Call the season. Yeah.
I love
it. But
UNC's last. Yeah. So.
But in preseason polls for next year mean nothing with the transfer portal. I mean,
right. You can win now. You can win now.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. So real quick, just wanted to spend like 10 minutes here and talk about the spring games. We haven't really spoken about that yet. So real quick, making thoughts. I mean, obviously, I saw that tweet earlier about where it had like the muscled wolf. The muscled dog, and it said post transfer portal offense. Then it had like the skimpy dog, and it said post portal defense. And I mean, I really kind of say that by saying Sean Brown didn't play, Davin Van didn't play, Aiden White didn't play. You know, like
that's your best player at each of the 3 levels. Like
exactly. So. I mean, did you have any worry at all watching that game? What?
I need to go back and still rewatch it a little bit more. I did rewatch most of it or some of it. Okay. I mean, no. I think if anything else, I think maybe, hopefully, you look at it as, man, our offense is way better. Way better. I mean, like it
in a while.
I mean. The running backs look sweet, man. Waters, Raphael, you got Smothers, and then Duke Scott. I mean, those guys look good. I don't know if there's much drop off, man, at that point. I mean, and they're different. So you have in different situations, you can do that. You could bring 2. I wonder if there's any 3 running back sets they could do, because what happens if you bring Waters, Raphael, and Smothers out there in one set, and it's just a rushing goal line kind of thing? I mean, that would be awesome. Or a short line, or what? I mean, and then, I thought McCall looked precise, or accurate. I mean, is what I look for actually too. He dealt the ball where it needed to go. He made the right reads in the small, simple game. He, you look at the receivers. Honestly, I probably didn't even really care too much to look at KC, because he was a known quantity at this point. And honestly, he almost got overshadowed this week, and purely because it's wow, look at Noah Rogers, look at Joe Lee, man. Joe Lee looks good. So look at somebody. I mean, I know Wesley Grimes had some nice plays. It's we are going to be doing something special here, I think, on offense. And if the guys just get healthy on defense, watch out ACC. I mean, I don't know. I really feel that way. And I thought Vincent, the new Kanoa Vincent, the new kicker. I think someone said, I didn't see it, but someone said he had a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah,
that's really good. And with Todd Goebel, you're going to get really good special teams. To me, what it sounds like, the only piece they really need to go out and get is a nose tackle or defensive tackle, and it's kind of let's roll.
Too. Not even that's already.
Yeah. And, another guy, I didn't mention this guy, CJ Bailey, dude. I mean, he looks he looks like a poor man's Lamar to me right now. I mean, I know like from an ACC level Lamar, right? I'm not talking Heisman Lamar. I'm saying he kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mackenzie, go ahead. Sorry.
Like the great value Lamar, not the Heisman yet.
Not a Heisman, right? I'm just saying, but he kind of has the frame and the length and the lankiness of Lamar. He runs fast. He's not as quick twitch or anything like that. So that's why I say he's poor man's. But he's different compared to Grayson, and I do not feel bad if we had to go a drop off from Grayson to him. If I felt in that position, I still think you maybe go try and get a 3rd string guy that you could say, hey, you come in next year, you battle out with CJ, pitch it kind of like that. But I mean, I think State looks really good, man. And yeah, I don't know. I think you got to see it like just like what you guys said, and Michael said. You had your best player on each defensive level out, and
Plus,
so
I mean, I
Sorry,
would
Kev.
Tony Gibson. I don't have any worries for.
no, you trust him, right?
He's
Yeah.
one of those coaches that if the defense doesn't look good right now, they're going to be stout by game one. Like that's the position. I'd rather have questions for defense in the spring game than offense because like I put all my trust in him, honestly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So this kind of leads to our last mailbag question, which I'll ask you, Michael. But should CJ Bailey be our second string quarterback heading into next season? And the first thing which I'll say is that Razor said right here, he's our future. Everybody's saying he's our future.
Yeah.
Again, folks, with the transfer portal the way it is, we
Who
can't talk
knows?
about future
Yeah.
at this point. We just can't.
That's what sucks. It's like
Which
you're
sucks.
hyped
Great
for-
point. Great point, Leighton.
It's not what it was, but unfortunately, like I'm literally looking at next year alone. That's it. I'm looking at 2024. That's it. And simply, if Grayson McCall goes down, do I feel confident enough in CJ Bailey to run the offense to win us football games and to make plays when we need it? And I'm leaving that up to the coaching staff, but I'm saying I have a really hard time doing that with a true freshman quarterback. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
He's a true freshman. So, you're asking when you go, to Georgia Tech, when you play at UNC, like you're asking him to
At
make plays.
Clemson. At Clemson.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
Ben
God
Finley
forbid,
did.
hopefully. Ben Finley did, yeah.
At
Yeah.
Tennessee, Western
League
Carolina.
Yeah. Well, but again, I mean, like it's literally like there's no worries about his skill. Is simply that he's a true freshman. That's it.
Right. It's just experience. I don't know.
It's a fair point, Leighton.
It's like, I think yes. If I was the coaches, I would probably go get another guy.
Mhm.
Just if you've got a scholarship available, I mean, it can't hurt. You're probably not going to get somebody much better skill wise than Bailey, but you may get somebody with experience who has played some college football before, so that could be beneficial.
Like, could you go get a guy like Jack Chambers was 2 years ago? Like, I know he didn't necessarily work out in terms of like skill level, but like a guy who's a proven starter,
won us the game, won us the Florida State game,
Well, and a guy who would come to NC State from a group of 5 program to say, hey, I just want to go and like experience Power 5 football for my last year.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I can see it. I just think, with Bailey, there's a clear cut path to next year right now. Like, it's Grayson's a one and done. I don't see him being like in a position of a guy who's like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna not be able to play this 1 year, and that's I'm take with you guys. And I'm gonna leave, and I really don't think he's gonna be like that because I just think it's a different situation, unique for him. But
has his whole friend group right there with him, and like Noah Rogers and all them, like they all came in together. So
I think even if you get another quarterback, I think you still say that Bailey is number 2, like because like Mickey was saying, you probably want him to be your starter next year. So
and I want it, but just again, unfortunately, with today's day and age transfer portal, and us too, because of how much stock we're putting into next season. At the end of the day, next year's is ACC championship or bust.
Well, let me ask you this, Leighton. Like, go get your best players, right? I mean, it's gonna be a tough sell to get another quarterback to come in and be. Maybe you could be QB2. You could do that. Maybe it's a grad. I mean, it's a grad quarterback, like what you're talking about, Leighton. But one guy we're not talking about is: are you okay with Lex Thomas being your QB3, or would you bring in somebody else? I mean, like I don't know. I just look at it. I totally get you covered, Leighton. Here's the portal. Win now. Don't care about her feelings. Just go get the best players you can get. And you would think after, was it 2 years ago, they had 4 quarterbacks they had to run through. That's a super rare thing to do. So I don't think they need to worry about QB4 or anything like that. But, maybe going to get a QB3. I mean, like, to me, they've got 3 QBs. It's a matter of, can you go get a better quality QB2 or 3? And honestly, but I'll just go back to come back to the point we were talking about earlier. CJ Bailey looked really good for a freshman throwing around up there. Like, granted, it was against a scrimmage, but like he was on the 2s, right? He wasn't with the 1s at times, and he was making really good throws against the 1s at times. So I felt really good about him. Seeing what I saw, I also understand the mentality of having a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
And on the road, like you said, at Georgia Tech or whatever, or whoever else, you're going to be on the road at UNC this year, or it's going to be a mental thing. And are you ready for it if it comes time for you to play? So, I get it.
Well, I'll say this, obviously, for the offense next year, the requirements for the quarterback position is going to be the lowest it's been in a long time, where you do not need to go be Superman. You don't even need to go and be you don't even need to go and be Clark Kent. Like you can literally just be the janitor Clark Kent, and we'll have a top 25 offense.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a benefit for Bailey is if you get thrown into that having
just
to play
take care of the ball.
You have like 5 guys around you. You're not out there by yourself, and like, this is on my back. I have to make something happen.
Yep. Yeah. If it's not there, throw the ball away. Don't turn the ball over. So, Macon, appreciate you, man. We'll let you go, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys. See you later. Talk to you later.
Go Pack, baby. Yeah. So for me, like, it's kind of indifferent to me. Like if they don't get somebody, I'm cool with it. But if they do get somebody, I get that too. But again, I'm not looking for, getting a big time guy. I'm looking for a guy that if things go south with CJ, that is a guy that, okay, we have another option. Because I mean, if Grayson McCall gets hurt, which again, he has a history of injuries. Most years he doesn't play all 12 games. Then you're basically going all in on CJ. Like love Lex. He played well, 3 for 3 for 121 yards. Yeah, that's great. Keep in mind that just part of it was Wesley Grimes just being Wesley Grimes. But shout out to Lex again. No hate there, but he's just not. I don't know, man. Like I'm just not necessarily feeling great, with Lex. But anyway, so I just want to say the comment for sure, no doubt about it, that we cannot say CJ needs to be our number 2 because he's the future. We got to stop saying that. Unfortunately, it's just not the way of the world anymore. It's just not. As much as I would love for it to be,
but yeah.
Like there's no doubt. I am thrilled right now thinking about how you have CJ Bailey right now, then you have Will Wilson, the quarterback, not the shortstop, coming in for 2025. Like that's a great quarterback pipeline right now. So, and because the other thing right now, and because I'll add this to you as well, is Hollywood Smothers, phenomenal game. Jordan Waters, phenomenal game. Kendrick Raphael, phenomenal game. Duke Scott, phenomenal game. I think this is
a great game. I mean, it's just you have a ton of people around you that can, if you're not feeling like it's your best game, just get it to a playmaker and easy.
So my first point is, where are you going to fit Jonathan Paylor? I mean, he's a guy that you're going to
he's not even with the team. Yeah.
Oh, where are you going to put him?
Yeah, he hasn't even gotten here yet. He gets here this week, I think, or next week.
It's crazy.
Running backs you're filled. Wide receivers you're filled. Like, where are you going to put him?
We've ever had this issue before.
No.
But I love it. On offense?
And somebody was saying in the comments, like in terms of skill levels on the offense side, I mean, we haven't had skill level positions like this
on paper,
in a long time. So, and I would say
injuries are big for State. So you have all those guys ready to come in and take that place. That's huge.
Yep, absolutely. But I mean, I would say this is probably the best running back room we've had. Is probably Andre Brown and Tony Baker. Like on paper,
I mean,
you had Jalen Samuels.
Yeah. If you consider
But the fact your RB3 is probably Hollywood Smothers right now, like
that's
insane. And the fact that you're running back 4, I mean, Duke Scott, who showed a lot of promise in the spring game, so I mean, yeah, you're feeling really, really good. Let's put it that way.
I think Anai's gonna have a blast with opening his playbook this year.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And I'm ready to see it because we didn't get to really see it last year much. So I'm excited to see just them airing it out and seeing all these plays.
But this is kind of a good metaphor. So with Nick Potter, that CJ and still Grayson McCall just needs to go be Brock Purdy. He doesn't need to go be a stud. Just go be a game manager. But luckily for us, Grayson McCall is talented enough that he can be more than a game manager. He can be a playmaker. So that's a good point. That's a good metaphor, Nick. I like that. And then on the offensive line wise, I mean, great game. I mean, man, just so many gaps were open on the run game side. I mean, you knew that. I think it's going to be interesting kind of how things work on the depth side from the offensive line. But I mean, with Dawson Jaramillo getting his extra year, you have options. So, because I think Matt McCabe was your starting guard
I think so.
side of Tim McKay. So excited to see what he can do there. But yeah, no, again, super, super excited about football this year. It's going to be awesome. And lastly, we'll talk about one more negative before we wrap this up, but I sure hope NC State baseball is okay. I'm a little worried about them, y'all.
I think they gave all their talent to our basketball teams for a little bit. We're good.
Yeah, now they're done. The baseball
they
team
were helping us. They were helping us
Yeah.
get to, because NC State, we can't have a ton of nice things at the same time. Like
only a few nice things.
Yeah, just can't have too much. So I think they took one for the team and helped us.
They'll be fine. I mean, it's baseball. You go through some slumps, and you got to remember Whitaker and Highfield didn't pitch this past weekend against Louisville. So
I didn't realize Noah Souls is out.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either until yesterday. Yeah, he got hurt against ECU, I think.
Yeah, he had surgery.
So yeah, you're down 3 of your top guys, and including 2 starting pitchers. So yeah, you just got to figure out a way to survive until you get them back. Hopefully that's this weekend. Yeah, hopefully that's this weekend.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, right now you're on a 5-game losing streak, losing to ECU, then getting swept by Louisville, which is it's not the Louisville of old. It's like a below average, Louisville team, and then you lose to UNCW, and now you have to go to Clemson, who is number 2 in the country right now.
Yeah,
and then you come home, and you face Campbell, which they're no slouch, and then you go and you play UNC in a series. So I mean, I think
unfortunately for us though, like the smaller schools in North Carolina are just big programs, like UNCG, UNCW, Campbell. Like those are some high quality baseball programs. So I think that's unfortunate for us, because usually those kind of teams you're marking down as a win for any other state, but here it's like Campbell is usually like a regional competitor all the time.
We don't have any get right games. We don't have any get right games. So
Michael, UNCG beat Wake, so I'm okay on that one.
Well, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, like you said, it's tough. We got a tough 2 weeks, and I mean, it'd be nice to get one of these, Clemson or UNC. If you lose both, then you're looking at your 3 and 4 in the ACC series. You're well below 500, and you got to climb out of it from there. So I think if they can get one of these 2 next series, that's kind of treading water, and then finish the season strong. But it's gonna be tough.
I mean, again, I want to make it very clear that I will never ever say that you should fire Elliot Avent. You're never going to fire him. Nobody should ever say that he should be fired. No, but now can they say, hey, we're asking you to move along, kind of thing, kind of come to an agreement deal. And I'm saying that if you don't win a series against Clemson or UNC, they're going to be just state fans are going to be just banging on that door.
It's going to be like every time in any sport. Like even after the Final Four game, people were like, okay,
I was going to say
it's like you're never you're gonna have those fans that are just
it's fine.
Yeah,
nope. I'm gonna keep the profanity out of it, but I want to say another word.
No. Yeah, no. But just more of that, unfortunately, now with the renovations happening, now with the fact that the ACC is just every single year, it's going to be tough. It is what it is. With the fact that you have Alex Mack, who's playing at a MVP caliber right now. The fact that you have what's supposed to be a stud, and Sam Highfield, who's been injured, all right, what, again, let's just see what happens. I'll just leave it at that. But again, it's getting swept by Georgia Tech, getting swept to Louisville.
Yeah,
it's just
the Louisville one hurt. The Louisville one hurt.
So
that one hurt.
But yes, so stay tuned. Again, hey, let's go and shock the world against Clemson this weekend. Let's go do that, and then we'll go from there. So. First of all, just want to say thank you again to all of Wolfpack Nation for the support. We'll actually have a vlog for the game sorry, not for the game, for the Final Four weekend coming out here this week. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And to make sure you do not miss out on that, make sure again hit that subscribe button, y'all. As we are on the road still for 10,000 subscribers, baby. And so your support would be greatly appreciated. And then make sure to hit that notification bell as well, so you're notified on all your devices whenever we go live with any new NC State content. And also to make sure again to give us a follow at Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, as we're also knocking on the door for 19,000 Twitter followers as well, which is unbelievable and so amazing. We thank you all so much for that. But Wolfpack Nation, we love you guys. Y'all are the best. Is by far the best time to ever be NC State fan, right here, right now. And just enjoy it, y'all. Enjoy the moment, and make sure to go support all these sports, y'all. Softball, men's tennis this weekend, who's celebrating their senior weekend. Make sure to go and support them. And and we'll see y'all soon. Michael, any final comments here before we wrap up?
No. Man, I will say something because I kind of came in late on the overall Final Four experience. It was it was awesome. Like, I really hope we get to do that again. It was
what?
It was tough that, it was a great weekend, but it was tough that, what we were there to celebrate, we didn't even really get a chance to celebrate because the women's team lost Friday night and the men's team lost Saturday. But that it was great, and man, I want to get back there.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like a druggie. We're fiending to get back to the Final Four.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to handle losing the same ever again.
I know. Ken's, any final thoughts, comments before we get out of here?
I finally get to rub in people's faces how awesome it is to be a State fan. I haven't gotten to experience this, so I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, Wolfpack Nation, we love you guys. You're all the best. Last thing I'll say, go invest, go support, whether that's join the Wolfpack Club or One Pack NIL. If you haven't already, got invested, make sure to go and check it out. Because again, there's price points depending on the benefits that you want and depending on, how much budget you have, but just go get invested, y'all. And let's go all in. And, and I think that if everybody goes and invests, just a little bit, that it can go a long ways towards not only just continuing to move uphill, but just having a year after year success for all of our sports, which is an amazing thing for sure. But thank you all so much, Wolfpack Nation. We appreciate y'all. And also, if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor and leave a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate that as well. We love you guys. We'll see y'all soon, and go Pack, baby.